What is going on to all my TV fans out there, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again, and it is that time of the year where I'm going to be sharing with you all some top 10 lists in the coming days, but today I'm going to be sharing with you all my top 10 favorite shows, but also what I consider to be the best shows of 2021. It was such a great year for TV, and I'm so excited to share my list with you all, but before we dive into it, make sure you're checking me out on all my other social media accounts. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, and as you can see on the screen now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and share it, but more importantly, leave your list, top 10 shows of 2021 in the comments below. But also, quick question for all my TV fans out there. Who's making the best TV shows right now? Is it streaming services like Netflix, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, Hulu, Amazon, or is it on TV? NBC, ABC, USA Network? Let's talk about that in the comments below. But before I share my top 10 list with you all, I do have some honorable mentions, starting off with one of my favorite streaming services out there, and that is Apple TV Plus. They gave us some great season 2s in 2021, starting off with C Season 2. What a fantastic season. I can't wait for Season 3. But also, we had M. Night Shyamalan's Servant Season 2. Season 3 is coming out in a couple weeks. I can't wait to discuss that show with you all. But let's move on to some Netflix shows, starting off with Sex Education Season 3, which was fantastic. We had a new fantasy show by the name of Shadow and Bone. We recently had the new season of The Witcher, which I thought was great. And then we also had a Korean supernatural show by the name of Hellbound. All great shows that I enjoyed, shows that I reviewed on this channel, but they just weren't able to crack my top 10. But go ahead and leave your honorable mentions in the comments, and let's move on to that list, starting off with number 10. And this show here is a couple shows on this list that I knew I was going to enjoy based on the premise, the trailers, who was behind the scenes, who was in front of the camera. But this is a show that every single episode I end up liking it and becoming to love it, and that's coming in at number 10, Hulu's Only Murders in the Building. This show had everything from comedy. It had, a great murder mystery. I predicted some things. It was some things I didn't see coming. It was such a great discussion about who was the killer every single week. But the thing that I was really happy with and I absolutely loved about this show is the chemistry of our three main leads. Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, Martin Short, they were fantastic together. I can't wait for season 2. I can't wait to discuss more of the show with you all in the future. And I thought Hulu has a really great hit on their hands with Only Murders in the Building coming in at number 10. But let's move on to my number 9, and that is the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, making its debut on TV starting this year with WandaVision at my number 9. I think this is one of those shows, out of all the shows we got this year, this stuck the landing when it came to what Kevin Feige said 2-3 years ago. We're going to be giving you all some shows with some characters you've seen before, but we're going to explore those characters more, and I thought WandaVision was a perfect example of that. By the end of the show, we learned so much more about Wanda Maximoff, where she came from, how she perceives things, how she sees the vision of her family and Vision and having the kids and the boys, and then introducing us to great characters who's getting a spinoff, which I can't wait for, in Agatha Harkness. What a great song. But it had such a great mystery behind it. It didn't stick the landing for me on the finale per se, but I still thought from A to Z, learning who Wanda was, learning more about Vision, seeing this new version of Vision with White Vision, and of course seeing Wanda become the Scarlet Witch. It was a great show. It is the only show I can think of in recent memory that was on that level of Game of Thrones regarding the speculations, the theories, what's going to happen next, the Mephistos in the world. Such a great show. Again, I can't wait to see what they have for these characters next, but that's coming in at my number 9. But let's move on to my number 8. Sticking within the MCU, I got Loki coming in at number 8, ladies and gentlemen. And just like WandaVision, it's another example of exploring a character that we thought we knew, but learning more about Loki, learning about what makes a Loki tick, seeing the back and forth between Loki and Mobius, meeting the TVA, getting what I think is the best season finale of any Marvel show so far with He Who Remains and him transitioning into Kang the Conqueror in the Ant-Man 3 film. I'm really excited for that, but I'm a sucker for time travel, multiverse, multiple dimensions, variant versions of characters. My favorite show of all time is Dark, so I love diving into like time travel stuff. So I thought that really kind of stuck the landing. It had heart, it had emotions, it had thrills, it had laughs. I was really a big fan of Loki. It's personally my favorite MCU show of Phase 4, but that's coming in at number 8. But let's move on to number 7 here, which is an HBO show by the name of The White Lotus. This is another example of a show that I thought I was going to really enjoy, but I really love this show. What a great discussion we had about this show every week, about who is the person in the box. But even besides that murder mystery, it was learning who these characters were were, seeing these privileged people on this beautiful island, but they have so much baggage with them. Armand and everything that went on with him, the married couple where they last on their honeymoon. We got all the great stuff from that show. We got a season 2 that was announced. It was going to be more of an anthology this time around, a different resort with different people. White Lotus was so fantastic. I hope you all got a chance to watch it. If you're not, you're missing a fantastic show on HBO, and that is The White Lotus, coming in at number 7. Moving on to my number 6, which let's stick with HBO, who I think gives us some great programs every single year, and that is the new drama by the name of Scenes of a Marriage. This show broke me to pieces. I mean, Jonathan and his wife, Mira, played by the incredible Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain. I mean, it was a therapy session when we talked about that show every single week. We were talking about our relationships, who was right, who was wrong. It was just so much in-depth conversation about love and regret and cheating and who, it's just so many great discussions that the show brought to the table. But more importantly, the performances by Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain, some of the best I've seen in a very long time on TV. It is such a great show. It's not for everyone because it dives deep into relationships, and it might put a mirror in front of the audience in regards to how they perceive relationships, but I thought it was just such a fantastic show. Another show that I highly recommend you all check out, and your boy covered it every single week. So that's coming in at number 6, Scenes from a Marriage. But let's go on to my number 5. But before we talk about my number 5, if you stuck onto this point in the video, if you haven't already, make sure to like, share, comment your top 10 shows in the comments below, and let's have a discussion about it. But let's get into my number 5, which is an animated show that I had heard about years ago, but I never took the chance to read the comics, and that is Invincible on Amazon Prime. Wow, that show just blew me away, from the animation style, the story, the rated R nature of it, the kind of, Justice League characters that we saw in episode 1 and how they were destroyed by Omni-Man, and Nolan and Mark's relationship and all the different things that show gave us. One of the best season finales I've seen in a very long time. I'm so happy they already greenlit a season 2, a season 3. I hope we get a season 10 for this show. I am such a big fan of Robert Kirkman's Invincible, and I can't wait to see what season 2 has up its sleeve. It's one of my favorite shows of this year, and that's why it's making my number 5 and Invincible. And again, season 2, can't wait for that. But let's move on to my number 4, and that is Amazon Prime's The Underground Railroad. Now, this was a show that I know everyone was probably not going to gravitate towards because obviously, hence the title, The Underground Railroad, is a very tough subject matter, and it's not an easy show to watch, but I think it was one of the most masterful shows I've seen all year. The cinematography, Nicholas's score, and the direction by one of my favorite directors working today, Barry Jenkins. It's his masterpiece. The show was just so beautifully handled. The narrative, the journey we went on with Cora, the commentary that it had during those times of slavery, and it again, it's not an easy show to watch, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen The Underground Railroad, it's very disturbing, it's very sad, it's very emotional, it's a lot of trauma with it, but it is just a masterful job of storytelling, of character development, of character depth, and it is just a journey like no other. I highly recommend you all give it a watch, but it does come with some tough things to see, but it is a masterful show, and that's why The Underground Railroad on Amazon Prime comes in at my number 4. Moving on to number 3, my man Mike Flanagan yet again brings us a masterful horror show in the name of Midnight Mass. He tackles religion in this show like I have never seen before. I mean, this show, the dialogue, and it had a lot of dialogue, but it has some of the best writing I've seen in a long time. Incredible acting. It was just so, it tackles religion in a way I haven't seen in like I said, in forever maybe. And I just think Mike Flanagan is just on top of his game. I know he has a couple other shows lined up with Netflix, which I can't wait for. But I mean, whether it is The Haunting on Hill House, Bly Manor, now this, he is the Stanley Kubrick, the master of horror in my eyes. He is just doing his thing on Netflix, and I just thought that Midnight Mass was fantastic. Again, a show that I broke down entirely on this channel, and I am just such a big fan of that show. But that is my number 3, which brings me to number 2, and that is, which I still think is one of the best shows on TV, and it is on HBO, and that is Succession Season 3. What a fantastic season. The Roy family just never fails to give us more and more drama, whether it's Shiv, whether it is Logan, obviously what we get with Kendall this season, but the MVPs, my boys Tom and Greg, definitely lived up to this season's premise, and you can't trust anyone, and the tables have turned in regards to the kids are finally going against their dad, which I hope is what season 4 is going to lead into. But this was just such a great season. Again, tackling more of Kendall's psyche and his mindset, getting more in depth of Logan and him declining in his health, but still thinking he's the king of the hill. The decision he makes at the end of the season. Again, Tom and Shiv, what a season finale. Again, it had its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's still one of the best shows written on TV, and that's why Succession Season 3 comes in at my number 2, which leads me to my number 1 show of this year. Another is a common theme. This I might answer my own question, who I think is making the best TV, and that's HBO. We got another HBO show, a drama, a crime drama by the name of Mayor of Easttown. Kate Winslet. Whoa, she was fantastic as mayor. I mean, again, this is my number 1 show of the year. You talk about speculations, theories, predicting who is the murderer, who is the one that's watching the people in their rooms, who's the one that killed the girl the first episode. I mean, it was just such a great murder mystery. But in the midst of all of that mystery, it's the character development. It's learning about Mare, learning about her mom, learning about this small town, everyone knowing each other's rumors, and all the stuff that show had to offer. Who knows if we're going to get a season 2? I know there's been speculation. There's been some things being said about maybe having a season 2. If that doesn't come to fruition, I'm okay, because I thought HBO delivered one of the best shows on the platform in a long time in Mare of Easttown. I was such a fan of that. And again, that season finale, when you find out who the killer was, jaw on the ground. We broke it down every week. We did a watch long. It was my favorite show this year, and that is coming in at number 1, Mare of Easttown. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my honorable mentions of shows that I really enjoyed, and then my top 10 favorite shows, also best shows in my eyes of 2021. That's my list, but I want to know your list, honorable mentions, all that stuff in the comments below. And like I said up top, who's making the best TV shows on TV right now? I personally think it's HBO still, and then it's a Netflix. I think of Apple TV Plus. Those are my top 3, but let's know yours in the comments below. If you stuck around to this point in the video, I appreciate every single one of you all. Before you leave, make sure to like, share, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell. That way you don't miss any of my future reviews. I do have other top 10 lists coming pretty soon. My favorite movies of the year, my most anticipated shows, most anticipated movies, and I just taking the moment right now to thank you for watching the TV show reviews that we did last year, joining in the conversation in the comments, watching some streams that we have for those shows, some watch-alongs that we have for the shows. It really means a lot to me that you all support the channel, and I can't wait to cover more shows in 2022 with you all. So with all that being said, I appreciate you. Hope you're staying safe. We'll catch you on the next video. But before you leave, as you all can see on the screen now, subscribe, check out my other content. We'll catch you all on the next one.